minute, Walnut. What's going on?
All right, break down the ninja ways for us, brother.
Okay, well, real quick, I'm actually going to bring this over to the compass that I drew yesterday. So, essentially, locomotion breaks up into directions. You have the north direction, flight and fight. We have the eastern direction, which is left-handed throwing, right-handed swinging. I'll get into that. And then you have south, fight, and then flight. And then right-handed throwing and left-handed swinging when you face the west. Now, what that means, it's kind of superficial on the base layer because you're just thinking about, well, if directions are, the way that we need to move, you have to have an understanding of your own personal direction. So it's kind of a strange concept, but the concept is rooted in the idea that if you take away the rope, movement should be continuous. So like if I were a baseball player, it would be right-handed swing, adjust, left-handed swing, adjust, because that's the idea of gait, right? I would be locomoting forward. So if I were to be throwing, I would then switch to left-handed. There's just a consistency of locomotion. So this is where the connection between the compass comes in. So like what you said yesterday about the circle. And
if you take a few steps back into the sunlight, we can see you a lot better.
Okay, I'm gonna adjust this then. Bam.
I want people to see this because if you've been practicing any rope flow, this is some super secret ninja shit. You guys got to get down. There's a reason I'm talking to this man right now.
So when you talk about like movement, right? Like you and I have the understanding of like this is locomotion, right? I've got this head over foot, shoulder drop. I'm bringing into that coil and then I'm sending it up. But that is also the same idea. If I swing a baseball bat, once I get into rotation, I'm actually going to side bend and I'm going to rotate. Now, you and I would both say this looks really similar, right? But this is also an underhanded motion. So now I'm bringing locomotion in with rotation. So I'm going from north to east to north. So the idea would be
north to east.
Left-handed thrower, right? So I start, this is the base of locomotion. Then I turn to the east. Now I have the ability to swing like a right-handed. So before I get all knotted here, I'm going drag and roll, right? Now I'm bringing in that front side, but then I can quickly switch into any kind of locomotion. But now you start getting into like the ropes are meant to balance your brain, non-dominant side, dominant side. So if you're a right-handed person like me, right-handed hitter, right-handed thrower, you fucked your brain. So you have to learn how to train your brain. So now the north is which direction where I want to locomote. So now I'm going to throw right-handed and swing left-handed. So now I can tap into all my types of athleticism. And it all just comes from knowing where your north is. So if you even think about it in like a fighting sense, right? So if I am fighting, the idea is I'm either trying to locomote forward or in grappling, I'm trying to stop them from locomoting, right? So everything is about movement or anti-movement. What this is teaching you how to move your body even away from that anti-movement. Because if you think about how this rope rolling works, if I'm going underhand, it's almost like a down.
Hey, step back out into the sun, man. You've turned into a shadow. There it is.
I mean, these moves are all connected. So if I'm like wrestling, right? Level changing. There's a pulse here. Boom, into an underhanded locomotion. I come up. I'm coming up. I'm coming from under. If I'm throwing punches, I'm coming over.
Yeah.
Kick, under. Elbows, over. Knees, under. So, like, the idea of knowing how to locomote really takes, let me just unplug this, really takes, like, a really strange rabbit hole, but everything connects with the rope. And it sounds like a really strange, superficial, like, almost, you know, the idea of woo woo, like, oh, everything's all connected, but it is. But
Yeah.
if you think about how movement works, the idea should be movement should be fluid. That's why contemporary dancers can string all these seemingly singularly strange movements, but the way they connect them, it turns into something beautiful, right?
And I know right now you're blowing Shaka's mind because he's developed a whole system based around similar principles without any understanding that anybody else was doing this anywhere else.
Right.
And now he's like starting to see that, like, oh shit, like there's other practitioners of this sort of thing. And dude, it's just so cool. I have some unique thoughts that I wanted to share with you about what you're talking about, right? And I kind of sent it into a video earlier. But it's something I've been thinking about a lot, which is like the circles that exist around our body that these objects that we're wielding move through, right? So could you maybe grab me a mace real quick?
Yeah.
Appreciate you.
It's a really
So
good
like where I start to see it is when I blend the mace and the rope together. I start to notice overlays in the way that they're working the same. So like if you were to take the rope and swing it in front of you, right, it would move in a frontal plane. Kind of
right.
like if I swing in this guy just in a continual, like, yeah, helicopter propeller, that's like one plane of motion, right? These are the landmarks that we move through with the mace. But we also have those landmarks at a rotated position. So if I was to swing here, right, that's you swinging on one side, right? That's that side plane. That side plane exists on both sides. And when you transition from one side plane to the other side plane, that's a overhand rope roll, right?
Right.
If you were to go uppercuts, that's an underhand rope roll.
Right.
So the same patterns translate to the mace. So essentially we have a circle in front of us. We have a circle on each side. We have a circle behind us. This one's kind of harder to explore with the rope. I don't really know how you get to the behind the back circle with the rope, but you can get there with the mace. And then we also, yeah, you got there. And then we also have the over the head circle.
Yeah.
So like just all these things that were moving around us kind of just go in between those different planes. And that's just kind of something I've been mulling over, trying to kind of understand these circles that exist around us. Yeah, man, this is fucking the dopest. We gotta have more of these.
Isn't it interesting how like the circles are where all the strength is? Like,
Yeah.
even though geometrically we know that a triangle is the strongest fucking shape, because we can just guarantee that it's a wedge, right? I can wedge something. It's not a circle that I use. It's got that point. But when it comes to rotation and movement through geometry, it's all about like rotating and like feeling that rotation around you. Like one of the hardest exercises I think on the planet is a Bulgarian backspin. Like if you do a Bulgarian bag spin with a 36-pound Bulgarian bag, it's like holding on to like a lamb. Like it's so hard to control, and you're rolling it around your body and you're opening, you're using your core, but your spine is where like the center of your rotation is coming from. So again, it's just a circle. It's not a one plane motion. It's a full rotation of the body. It's very interesting how shapes play into movement.
Yeah, shapes and intention. And I'm just going to take a second here because like I am familiar with what you're saying, but I'm curious, like, what are you thinking about this, Shaka? How does this land with you?
Well, yeah, see,
Go.
we know that the triangle is the most powerful shape, but as we move through these circles and we utilize these circles, they extend outward to an individual point on a repeated fashion. And as they reach out to those points, there are triangles. They're little cones.
Right.
So if you think at it geometrically, like in a 3D space, you're moving in a cone, and at the figure eight, within the center of those eights is that cone. So when I'm coming here and I'm whipping outward, that cone coming outward from where I'm whipping the rope is a point that I'm aiming for. So with what I do, I'm thrusting my toes into hit that point that you use as your circle. So you have the whole circle, but within the circle, I try to hit a point repeatedly.
Okay. I see what you
It's fascinating stuff. The stuff that he's teaching me right now, velocity training, is super interesting because it's like it's all the same WEC method shit, but through a very unique lens that I've never considered it before. So, man, thank you so much for sharing. I'm going to keep these short so that we can like post them as actual content. But let's do this again, man. Let's keep diving down.
Add one thing that I
Please.
think that
Yeah.
everybody can do that's super simple, and that is like getting like a little compass drawn on the ground, or if you're just bored one day and you want to understand movement, just understand, like, walk backwards, walk sideways, do side shuffles, do like karaoke. But like, if you move in those directions, you're really going to have an understanding of like, oh shit, there are a lot of different planes of motion that I don't operate in.